Hey Bailey, I wanted to leave you some feedback on Essay 1. First off, make sure that you are using the correct heading for MLA. So it should be your name, your instructor's name, the title of the course, and then finally on the fourth line, the date. Um, I think you've got a good general idea for May. However, I I don't yet see a thesis statement, and I think that that is one of the primary issues that's going on with this paper. So you have a clear summary of what happens in the text, but what you don't have is an analysis, right? And that's what you're supposed to be doing in this essay. So really, the full body of your essay simply retells Rollo May's essay in your own words. But remember, you're not summarizing, you're attempting to analyze what May is doing. And I think part of the issue is instead of forming a stance on May's argument, you make a general statement about freedom. And that's really not what you should do in critical analysis. Instead, your purpose in critical analysis is to consider the effectiveness of the author's argument. So, what I would do with this paper is identify what May is trying to say and then analyze its effectiveness. So, essentially, attempt to answer does the author's argument work and why? So, if I were writing this essay, particularly if I were talking about freedom, or if I was interested in exploring freedom, I might use the psychologist to examine how he struggles uh, he struggles for freedom just as much as the man in the cage does, right? Because he's kind of trapped in his own metaphorical cage. And how does Rollo May essentially use that character, right? Use that psychologist to help us understand his idea about freedom and social roles, right? So you have a good working idea here, but what I don't see is a thesis, right? Instead, you're just kind of making a statement about freedom, but not an arguable thesis on May's uh, argument. And like I said, the body, since I think the body just simply summarizes his text, which is why I think you don't go into analysis really. You just focus on summary because I think that you don't have a clear thesis yet. So if you were to revise this essay, that's what I would focus on first. I'd focus on drafting a clear thesis that forms a position on Rollo May's argument. So I think a good question to ask yourself if you're doing critical analysis is the author's argument persuasive? Is it effective? And depending on what your answer is, right? So, because you could essentially answer yes, you could answer no, or you could say, well, it's somewhere in the middle. It depends on the reader, right? And depending on what your answer is, that could be your claim, right? So that way you could present an arguable thesis statement. So something to the effect of Rollo May's argument is effective for these reasons. And then through the paper, you attempt to prove through various reasons why you think the author's argument is effective. But like I said, the majority of this paper just focuses on summary instead of analysis. But I think it can be improved upon. I think you can revise this. And if you did that, I would focus on a thesis statement and then thinking out and drafting out those key ideas to get you there. So I encourage you to revise this. And if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. And I'd be happy to talk to you about this further. All right. Thanks.